guides are going to connect with you and communicate with you in different ways. And you're going to want to find the way that works for you. So the way that works for you is the things that are going to stand out to you. So another thing that I teach in my workshops is developing your own divine communication style, finding what works for you and what communication style works for you. So once we're receiving information and we feel like we're making a connection with our guides and we're getting messages, you know, we're maybe hearing things on the radio, we're having dreams, or we're seeing visual stimuli. How do you know if it's actually true guidance? Sometimes people will say, well, I got this thought, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if it's correct. I'm not really sure if I should follow it. One of the best ways that you can determine the difference between true divine guidance and false guidance comes from your ego. True divine guidance is going to come from God and your spiritual support team. Is to ask yourself the question, is this coming from a place of love or is it coming from a place of fear? If the information feels like it's coming from a place of love, if it makes you feel uplifted, motivated, joyful, if it rings true to you, most likely it's true guidance, and it's coming from your angels, your spirit guides, and your ascended masters, whatever you feel like you connect with, your spiritual support team. If it's coming from a place of fear, if you're doubtful, if you're afraid, if it makes you feel like, gosh, angry or frustrated,
it's probably sounds like scolding.
Yes.
Yeah.
True guidance is going to sound like a wise mentor, like a friend or a mentor that's giving you guidance. False guidance is gonna sound something like, you should have done this. It's going to put you down. It's going to make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, it's never the right timing. False guidance is always going to make you want you to delay your purpose. Wait till tomorrow, wait till tomorrow. That's false guidance. True guidance is going to lovingly tell you to act, and true guidance will come over and over and over. You'll keep getting the same messages. So if you're not sure, ask again the next day. And if you get the same response, most likely it's true guidance. But the basic way, the most important way to differentiate between true guidance and false guidance is ask yourself, is this coming from a place of love or is this coming from a place of fear? Okay? Love or fear? Love is your angels, your spirit guides, and your ascended masters. Fear is the voice of your ego. Any questions about that? Or about any of this? Yeah? No questions?
Very thorough presentation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're all ready to go home and start channeling, right? Okay, great.
It's just as part of the process, right before you get started, you should surround yourself with white light to protect you so none of the negativity does get in.
That's a good point. And that's why I brought up, you only want to connect with the higher energies. So you can do a white light protection before you do this, which is just surrounding yourself, just imagining yourself in a bubble of white light and protected from any lower level energies. And you just don't want to invite any lower level energies in. And if you're connecting with your angels and your spirit guides, no lower level energies will come in unless you're coming from a place of fear, unless you're going into this process from a place of fear. But it's always a good idea to protect yourself with white light. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Any other questions?
Wow, okay.
Well, I'll ask you. When I do channeling, I normally make an agreement with one of my spirit guides as to who's going to do the channeling beforehand, because I don't want anybody just coming in and doing it. But the last time when we did it in here, Archangel Michael was standing there, and I said, you know, that's probably, I mean, Archangel Michael isn't going to let somebody in who isn't of the highest vibration. But it sort of scares me just to let anybody come in and do the challenge. Just say, okay, whoever in the universe.
Okay, see, and Vance will just use the word scared. So anytime you're coming from a place of fear, you don't want to approach this from a place of fear. You want to approach it from a place of love, and just know that the right energy is going to come through. If it scares you, then you might not be on the right track, and you might want to get some guidance. So you always want to get comfortable with, I feel comfortable working with the angelic energy, and that's why when I do my readings, I'm a certified angel therapy practitioner by Doreen Virtue. I feel comfortable connecting with that energy. I always know that I don't even think of lower energies coming in because I don't invite them in. That's where I guess a lot of people do mediumship, and I have not personally gotten comfortable with that because I don't really like people coming in that I don't know who they are. But there are a lot of really gifted mediums who are comfortable with the entities that I work with on the other side. So that's a preference. But whatever energy that you're connecting with, if you have a Christian background, it might be the Virgin Mary, it might be Jesus Christ that you feel a connection with and that you feel you're receiving guidance from. Has anyone ever been exposed to or read The Course in Miracles? That is a book that was essentially channeled by Jesus Christ, right? So there are many energies, and that's why I call it your spiritual support team. Sometimes when I'm doing readings or I'm meeting with a client, people will ask me, well, what does my angel look like? What's their name? And why I like to call it your spiritual support team is I don't really think it's important to belabor what the angel's name is or what they look like. It's the energy that's coming through to you. And if it's coming from a place of love, that's why I think it's important to trust that guidance. I don't think it necessarily matters, was my spirit guide a Native American Indian? If you feel that and you see a picture, then great, and you connect with a name, then great. Then you do that in your channeling sessions. But you don't necessarily, because I see people get frustrated. Well, I didn't get a name. I didn't get a name. I want to know what my angel's name is. Maybe your angel doesn't have a name. Maybe it's just a vibrational frequency that's trying to communicate with you. So really get in touch with that information that's coming from a place of love and service, and get the guidance from that vibrational frequency. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm.
I had a question. You mentioned that when you were recently channeling, you got a message that you were to make aware of energies from other galaxies. How did that come about?
I will tell you. That came about because I was here at a holistic fair, slated to do a speech, 1:30 or something.
In March, yeah.
Yeah. Solara Anra, who lives in London,
Mm-hmm.
right? She was here. She was doing workshops here. She channels spirit guides that are galactic, the Pleiadians, which are from another star system. She was doing a speech after me, so we were back to back. And during my speech, she happened to come in, maybe it was the last 10 minutes, and she was listening, and I was doing a speech kind of talking about angels and spirit guides like I was now, and I said, does anybody have any questions? And she said, yes. Where would you categorize, it's so funny that you asked that question, because I know that they always now they are always bugging me to talk about this. She said, where would you categorize star beings in your spirit guide, in your arc? Because I had deceased loved ones, spirit guides, angels, and I had this hierarchy of higher vibration, and I didn't have these galactic beings anywhere in there. So she asked me where I would categorize, and I said, well, I don't really categorize them as spirit guides, or I think of them, I've always understood star people as more people from other galaxies that might be born into a human body. I didn't really have, it wasn't my area of expertise. I didn't really have an opinion about it. So she just said, And then she talked about her experience with the Pleiadians a little bit, and her guides. So then she gave her speech after mine, and I sat in on her speech, which was really unusual because I normally have appointments. During these fairs, for some reason, it was like this vortex that I got pulled into, and I didn't have any readings to do. I didn't have any appointments, and I was like enthralled when I was watching her do this channeling session.